It's like if you ask a crazy person if they're crazy, they're gonna say no. They're gonna be like, no, you guys are all crazy, I'm the normal one. It's one of those things you can't defend, because if you're like, oh, I think what I'm doing is not strange, I think what I'm doing is normal, it's perfectly normal, but you can't win that by denying it. You can't be right by denying that what you're doing is strange. When I graduated from college, I packed all my stuff into my Toyota Camry and started traveling around to climbing destinations. I think to some extent I'm always rock climbing. There's never like a month where I don't climb at all. I've now been traveling and climbing for somewhere around 6 years, living in a car or a van. So it's been a lot longer than I originally had planned on. It gives you a lot of freedom, and you get to have your home with you wherever you're at. You never feel like you're away from home. It's almost easier to travel when everything you own is in your vehicle, because then if you want one of those things, to use one of those things, it's always right there. You're never like, oh, I wish I could do this, but I left it at home, because home's always in the parking lot. Maybe I take a little bit for granted how beautiful some of the places I spend time are, just because it's become so normal. It's definitely an improvement from where I spent my time in school, for example, where it was all just flat and cornfields everywhere. Now I wake up and there's mountains and ocean, and it's pretty awesome. I like living in my van because the mobility and the freedom that it provides. You can go anywhere at any time, pretty much. My van has quite a bit of open space, actually. It's basically just a bed with some storage space underneath, and then I put my crash pads on top of the bed. I like to keep things pretty organized and have not things that I don't need or use very often. I've never been particularly attached to things or possessions or having lots of stuff. Even long before I wanted to travel and live in a small space, like I've always not really liked having so many things. It's just part of the way I am, I think. When I have lots of stuff, I spend time thinking about the stuff, cleaning the stuff, organizing it, or you always have to take care of things that you have in some way or another. I like to keep things simple so that I can spend my time focusing on the things that are important to me. Recently, one guy was like, he said, he was trying to be funny, I think. He said, I'm fat and this app lets me see what the weather's gonna be like without going outside, and the colors on the radar look like sprinkles on a cupcake, things like that. So I've definitely gotten some comical app reviews. I wanted to create an app that as a rock climber would give me all the information that I was looking for. So I made an app that could give me National Weather Service forecasts for the GPS coordinates that I was at, wherever I was at in the mountains or out climbing or whatever. I have around 250,000 downloads for my app now. It's been a combination of teaching myself and also having the background in computer science. I have a degree in computer science and I also have a degree in philosophy. And even before I went to school, I'd been programming computers. I would actually program my calculator in high school, the ones they give you for math class. I had a TI-83, and I would write programs that would do the math for me instead of having to actually do the math, and sometimes I get in trouble from the teachers. I never look at a boulder problem and think immediately that it's impossible. I always see holds and think that there's a way to move between them. The first time I try a move on a boulder problem, or the first few times and I can't do it, it's almost like that just hooks me. I just want to try it more. It's the opposite of getting frustrated with it. Then it's a challenge. If I can't do it, then it's a challenge, and then I want to do it even more. The method, for example, was one where I got shut down on it for a long time and wasn't making any progress. My friend pointed out that there was a different foot that I could be using, so I tried that foot, and sure enough, it made the move feel possible when before it had felt like there was no way I was going to do it. Do I like the direction I'm going, or do I want to go in a different direction? I always think about it in terms of a direction I want to go. Right now, I love what I'm doing, so I'm just going to keep going in the same direction. I like my job, I like what I do in my recreation time, and I like my lifestyle living in the vehicle, so yeah, things are good.